Hallo, Hallöchen und herzlich willkommen zurück zu einer neuen Episode von The Stanley Parable 2 mit Bucket und nee, gar nicht. Komm, wir rauschen direkt durch. Wir haben ihm das Comedy-Timing versaut. Ich weiß nicht, sein Job ist jetzt dann überflüssig. Nein, wir gehen zur Rechten. Oh, jetzt weiß ich natürlich nicht. Nein, wir wollen auch nicht in die Mitarbeiter-Lounge. Es ist super schwierig, darüber nachzudenken. Wir sind ja noch nicht einmal links gegangen und haben jetzt schon so viel neuen Content gesehen. Wir wollen jetzt, diesmal möchte ich gerne hier lang.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Ja, weil der Bucket einfach weiß, was gut für mich ist. The bucket knows, Leute. The bucket knows everything.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point.
Wie was?
Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Hallo? Okay, ich bin drin.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
Ich glaube, alles ist Bucket.
Begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Ja.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Ah.
Item 2.
Ja.
Is this a bucket?
Definitiv.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Ich frage mich, was, wenn ich die anderen genommen hätte, hätte er garantiert gesagt, ist ein Bucket. Aber das kann man ja theoretisch auch nochmal ausprobieren.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Ja.
Correct. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket? What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor.
Nein, das
it's
ist ein
an enormous
Eimer.
machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
Everything is Bucket. Alles ist Eimer.
Is this a bucket?
Ja.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Sag ich doch. Was ist das? Alles ist ein Bucket.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Ja.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Wie beides? Was beides? Ja und
Item...
nein?
Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
No?
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here.
Doch, ein
And I
Eimer.
don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Ja.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out.
Ja, ich auch.
I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Ja.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
Nein.
Okay, here we go.
Nein. Nimm mir nicht den
What
Eimer.
happened? Is everything gone?
Ja,
Why
weil
did everything
alles ist
disappear?
Bucket.
Wait, was everything a bucket?
Ja.
Every single thing in the game was a bucket?
Ja.
Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what. I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Oh,
decided
der Eimer
to
ist
go
noch
to
da
the
zum
meeting
Glück.
room. The good old just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
Ich komme... Warte mal. Sah das schon immer hier so aus?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Also,
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
the bucket was
Stanley
wrong.
took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nein, nein, nein.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting
Ich will noch
room.
mal zum
Go
Telefon.
somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Ja.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Okay, wir
Said the
picken
bucket.
up das
Pick
Phone
up the
diesmal.
phone and it will take...
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Wo ist mein Bucket? Wo ist mein Eimer? Das ist eimerförmig. Da ist er, mein Eimer. Hallo Stanley, ich bin es, dein Eimer. Drücke X, um mich zur Arbeit mitzunehmen.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Eimer. Drücke O, um mich mit nach Hause zu nehmen. Ja.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an
Wo ist mein Eimer?
inanimate metal object? I
Wo
want
ist
to
er
say
denn?
something to him, but
Warte.
I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Nein, nein, nein. Das ist mein Eimer. Und jetzt gehen wir mit dem Eimer bitte zur Arbeit.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me?
Eimer.
Listen to me. It's just a bucket.
Nein.
It can't think, it can't talk.
Es ist
All
mein
it will
Eimer.
ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid
Ja.
from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Ja, nicht auf den lauten Mann, drücke G, damit wir wieder nach Hause gehen, ja.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Drücke M, um alle im Leben außer mir zu ignorieren. Ja, Eimer.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket.
Ja.
Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a
Hey,
nice
Finger weg von
shine
meinem
to it.
Eimer. Das ist mein Eimer. Setzt mich real, oder Stanley? Drücke B, um wieder nach Hause zu gehen.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Yay. Ja, immer denselben und selben Tag.
Oh my
Eimer.
God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket.
Nein.
Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Weil er mehr als ein Eimer ist. Drücke L, um nach Hause und zur Arbeit, nach Hause und zur Arbeit und nach Hause, zur Arbeit zu gehen. Ja.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No, 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 no. What's going on?
Finger weg
Why
von
do
meinem
I
Eimer.
want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Es ist mein Eimer.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me
Nein.
now. Give it or I'll...
Geh zurück zur Arbeit, Stanley. Puh, Glück gehabt. Ich dachte schon, er will mir den Eimer nehmen, Leute.
All of his co-workers
Schnell.
were gone.
Ich muss
What
zurück zu
could it
meinem
mean?
Eimer.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had... Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled.
So, ich glaube, da hinten haben wir jetzt so gut wie alles durch.
Stanley clutched the bucket
Wir gehen
tightly to his
trotzdem noch mal
chair. This was not
rechts.
the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting
Da
room.
ging es nicht weiter. Dann gehen wir
And
mal
so
hier
the
lang.
two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Da ist die Opposite Door, da geht's zurück zum Meeting Room. Aber wir wollen eventuell hier runter in den Keller.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh, we care about Stanley, guck. Ah, wie cool, hier ist die gelbe
You see,
Linie.
your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The
Moment, ist das
bucket
eine
isn't even
Intervention?
from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the
Nein.
Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Ich möchte hier rein. Ich möchte hier bleiben. Er sagt nichts zur Besenkammer. Er gibt mir die Besenkammer und sagt nichts dazu. Okay.
Whee! look at that waggy line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh nein, die Musik schon wieder. Oh Gott. Oh, la, 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 la.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Was?
Yes. It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Nee, ich werde meinen Eimer nicht hergeben. Das könnt ihr vergessen. Ich werde meinen Eimer behalten. Das ist mein fucking Eimer und den werde ich behalten.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
Nein, ich will den Eimer nicht
Can you
zerstören.
guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you
Weiß
don't
ich
need me to
nicht.
spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Nein. Nein, nein,
Now
nein.
listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket
Nein.
Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket.
Ist mir
Destroying
egal, was
buckets
macht.
is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait.
Nein.
Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved
Macht gar
Stanley
nichts.
Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Der Eimerzerstörer kriegt meinen Eimer nicht. Ich werde den Eimer nicht hergeben.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Als wäre der Eimerzerstörer jetzt besser als der Eimer selbst. Also, kannst mich mal. Ich werde meinen Eimer nicht hergeben. Ich werde den Eimer wiederholen. Immer wieder. Und immer wieder. Und immer wieder. Und das werde ich aber auf die nächste Episode verschieben. Das passt gerade zeitlich so halbwegs. Weil sonst dauert es vielleicht wieder zu lang. Wer weiß das schon? Ich weiß es bei Stanley nie. Es kann natürlich auch schnell gehen. Es kann aber auch schnell vorbei sein. Wer weiß das? Niemand weiß es. Freunde, ich bedanke mich an dieser Stelle, wie immer, recht herzlich fürs Zusehen. Wir sehen uns, wenn ihr Lust habt, in der nächsten Episode wieder. Ich wünsche euch da draußen allen einen wunderschönen und sehr erfolgreichen Tag. Und ja, wenn ihr Bock habt, Stanley Parable geht vielleicht noch ein bisschen weiter. Stanley Parable 2 mit Eimer. Also Leute, macht's gut. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Auf Wiedersehen, reingehauen. Und ciao mit Au.